What up, Fight World? It's your boy Ego, and I'm back with some more boxing. Back with my segment, The Rundown. What The Rundown is, I try to give you some quick bullet points in the sport of boxing. You don't have to click on a bunch of videos. It saves me some labor in making the videos, and let's get right into it. Son of Mexican legend Julio Cesar Chavez. His son just underwent a successful hand surgery, so I want to say get well soon. Come back to the sport healthy if you're going to continue to fight. And he fractured his hand in his last fight on Showtime versus Marcos Reyes. Now, in that particular fight, check out my post-fight if you didn't. I don't think he looked that great. I mean, considering his size and weight, but he alleges that some of the reason that he looked like that and the reason he wasn't able to overpower and score the knockout is based on sustaining a fracture in his hand. His hand was hurt early on in that fight, and he went the duration. But that was his first fight with Robert Garcia, so I don't know. Maybe we could take his word for it, but that is the latest on Chavez Jr. No return date. He doesn't have an actual return date. Injuries are always kind of weird because it's all dependent on the individual. One, the individual's body. Two, age usually plays a factor. And then three, the condition of the operation and also the conditioning and the physical therapy and how well you do. Because I've been hospitalized before. I've been in the hospital and things like that. Sometimes you have to learn how to walk again and learn how to breathe properly when you have a certain body part that is MIA or is not active. So things like that. So bottom line is this: if you don't do your physical therapy and strengthen the muscle and come back right, then you're going to be out longer. So we'll see what happens. No return date. They're saying he should be better by December, most likely January 2016, sometime around there, to come back and fight. Let me know who you guys want to see him fight. In other news, Showtime Shawn Porter and Kenny Porter have been on record saying they would love to close the year with the fight versus Danny Swift Garcia. Me, I'm all for that fight. Mayweather-Berto, people either love it or hate it or they're neutral about it. It is what it is. The fight is happening. No one can change that. The ball's already rolling. So the thing is, moving on, I want to see these other stars in the welterweight division fight each other, because the guys like Mayweather, Cotto's, and Pacquiao, their legacies are almost coming to a close. Marquez, they've prove over and over and over again. You know what I mean? Marquez has been fighting since the 90s, early 90s. Same thing with Mayweather and Pacquiao. They fought, I think, I think Pacquiao maybe turned pro a year before Mayweather or vice versa. Either way, their legacies, and we know what they've done for the sport of boxing. But some of these young guys, they still have to create their mark in the sport. Keith Thurman, Showtime Shawn Porter, Kell Brook, guys like Danny Garcia. Now, Danny Garcia actually has a solid resume, not at welterweight because he's only had one fight at welterweight. So to me, I'm all for the meaningful fights. And the thing is, a fight with Adrien Broner, no, I'm not discrediting because I actually picked Broner. I told you it was a wild card and I picked him to beat Shawn Porter. But I will say this, Broner, we know for a fact, and I said this in my prediction, Broner, it doesn't look like he carried up some of his speed and power from the lighter divisions, 130, 135, up past 140. Definitely not at 147, because if you look at his worst performances, they were usually the ones that exceeded 140 pounds. The catch weight with Shawn Porter, Maidana fight, and even the Paulie Malignaggi was a split decision. Versus Danny Garcia. Danny Garcia is pretty big, and I don't think he looked spectacular versus the Paulie that showed up, but he got the job done, and he was dominant and winning every round. He looked a bit lethargic and slow to me, but one thing that can't be denied is some of the things that he showed in the previous division, 140, was still there. Like, I still seen his power, and there was no issue with his power. Like, it looked like his power carried up, no problem. Paulie's been hit by Cotto's and Hattons and Khans and stuff like that, and it seemed like Danny Garcia's power was something that Paulie Malignaggi had to respect. Versus you look at the Broner fight, it didn't look like Paulie early respected Broner's power, but it looked like he respected Danny Garcia's power. So to me, these are all the fights that I'm lobbying to see. Porter versus Thurman, Porter versus Danny Garcia, any of these fights, make them happen. Kell Brook, Amir Khan, if Marcos Maidana comes back healthy and in shape, these are all great fights. So to me, let all these dudes round robin and scrap. Let me know what you guys think. What do you want to see next for the welterweight division this year? Make sure you like my video as always. Hate, comment, and subscribe. Till next video is Ego signing off.